this morning I got an email from my client, super happy about a master they got, but they don't know what happened at the studio yesterday. See, this master I worked on, again, unattended, I'm working on it, sounds great. I go to commit the print and there's a section in verse 2. I don't know why I hadn't picked it up. There was a whole bunch of noise in it. I'm like, oh my God, I can't send this to the client. So I obviously spent another 10, 15 minutes fixing it. It passed QC, and it was an obnoxious noise. Like, it was obnoxious. So I was a bit stressed that it passed through. But anyway, point is, ended up fixing it with the RX suite, and then got off to the client. I was happy. They didn't see that process beforehand. It was something that happened. But then this morning I was thinking, shit, what happens if I didn't have the RX suite? And then I started thinking, wait, there's so many tools as mastering engineers, especially in the mastering community, we just take for granted as things that we have access to. Even mixing engineers have access to these tools. And it started making me think, like, if I had to start from scratch, ground zero, how much money would I have to invest in tools? It'd be about 30, 40, 50 grand you need to be at a base level of resources and access to tools to perform the job competently with all the different things that get thrown to you day to day as a mastering engineer. And it made me think, like, there is quite a big barrier that people don't recognize there. And that's the true cost of mastering is the tool set and the experience to operate that tool set. But I don't want to leave you there because that's sort of like, oh, you know, look at this. It's like, that doesn't really help people. So I want to share with you, like, some of the core things that I do to continue bridging, or not even bridging. I just like to expand the gap of knowledge that I have to provide my clients. So I want to share with you some of the things I do. AES papers, Audio Engineering Society. If you're in any audio field, you should become a member and read some of the papers they have there. Really detailed, great engineers documenting what goes on in audio to an incredible degree. So the AES, read the ITU, International Telecommunications Union documents. I think it's BS 1770. That's a really good one. Understand some of the patents around the technology you use. I spent some time with the IRC patent that Isotope developed. Even some of the patents Apple have on their smartphone speakers is really interesting to see how, these are devices that a lot of what we work on get played in, and having the knowledge and understanding about even the physics of it and how they propagate sound really helps inform your decision-making and have a more comprehensive breadth of knowledge in your applications in the studio. So AES, ITU, patents, as well as that reading manuals, and the way I read manuals is printing them. It's a really healthy way. And this is all the true cost of mastering people don't talk about because it's not sexy. Ain't sexy, but it's sort of a necessity. I have like paperwork all over. Like, if you look at my kitchen table, I just got like piles of paper, notes scribbled and then shoved into folders because that's how I like to learn and invest my time integrating into what's going on. Actually, I'll quickly run out into the kitchen. I can just even show you some papers I've got. One moment. And on like in the kitchen, I've literally got this. This is the anti-derivative anti-aliasing techniques in non-linear wave digital structures. This is a different way of reducing aliasing distortion without oversampling, which is really interesting, using derivatives. And this is like 30 pages long. And I've got notes scribbled all over it because I'm trying to learn about it. And people don't realize that is the cost of mastering. It's not just in the ability to know what to do, it's to know why to do it. And that's, there's so much information that helps contextualize my work in the studio, and all mastering engineers work in the studio. It's the tools, it's the experience. It's just, those are the true costs of mastering people don't talk about. And I also think us mastering engineers are culprits in this. You know why? Because when we talk about the true value of mastering, we're always trying to sell the service, okay? And often sales tactics is through scarcity, fear, result-based value, which all ring true sometimes, but often it can devalue the actual effort and work we put into our craft. So by saying, if you don't use a mastering engineer, you might miss things that get on the final record. If you don't use a mastering engineer, and you're not giving your record the best chance for a pro sound. And I think us mastering studios and engineers need to do better than that. And to me, that's sort of why I like to educate through this channel. It's because It's a more transparent way of showing this is what's happening at the studio. This is what's happening in sessions. This is what I'm doing. This paper is literally directly from a comment. I can't remember the commenter on the YouTube channel on this channel, but they were like, hey, you know, you're doing oversampling. Have you heard of this anti-aliasing technique? I'm no. Lucky I'm an AES member. I can just download these papers, start scribbling on them and understanding. It's actually a really cool paper. It's a continuous time impulse response. It's really interesting, and what seems and it's funny. Like, I don't know, should I blab on about this? Maybe. I got to do a full video on this anti-derivative anti-aliasing techniques, but mainly it's sort of like a marketing thing on one of the new compressors, like this really high-end compressor, digital compressor that's come out, and then looking into the actual science and data behind it, it appears to be a more economical solution in terms of the resources required for oversampling to avoid aliasing distortion. It's good in that sense for real-time playback, so on live systems and stuff as well. So it's interesting. I still haven't went through the whole breadth of this to have a full comprehensive understanding, so ignore some of my comments there because I really want to give it a good whack. But anyway, the true cost of mastering is not just the sales pitch side of mastering studios and mastering engineers. It's the experience, the time, the breadth of knowledge, I keep harping on about that. I think I've already said that, but mainly the true cost of mastering, the reason why I wanted to speak to you guys about this is not just to show you guys what I do and what I believe is the true cost of mastering, but also as an open invite for you guys to engage in your craft, providing more value. So not just worrying about how many clients can I get in the door, how can I sell my service, how can I, you know, make another buck, but genuinely, how can I be better at what I do every day? And I think that's where there's an intersection between, you know, craft and value in the marketplace, because anybody can have access to the tools and anybody can read what to do, but then knowing what to do and when to do and why to do it is where they converge, and that you present value to the marketplace where people are like, oh, wow, this person really helped me out here. Or they might even not know that you did certain things in a record, like I said in the previous example, but it's where you provide value that people recognize and are happy to exchange on. Yeah, anyway, there you have it. Until next time, take care.